Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're tuning in right now, chances are you're probably dealing with a crying baby. You're exhausted, you're totally stressed out, and you just want some answers. I see you. And I want to completely validate how incredibly overwhelming it can be when you just desperately want to soothe your little one. Okay, let's dive into this because, man, we all know that feeling. Your baby is completely upset, you've tried everything, and absolutely nothing seems to work. The panic kind of sets in, the noise level just keeps rising, and it becomes this incredibly heavy, overwhelming feeling for any parent. First and foremost, I need you to hear this. You are not alone, and this is absolutely not your fault. Today, we're going to walk through a highly actionable, step-by-step framework straight from pediatric experts and sleep coaches. It's stuff you can use right this very second to help soothe your baby and honestly reclaim your peace of mind. So, to fix the problem, we first need to diagnose the root cause. Section 1. Why is your baby crying? Diagnosing the cause. Well, it turns out up to 20% of babies experience excessive crying without any medical cause whatsoever. You've probably heard this referred to as colic. The crucial takeaway here is that excessive crying affects a massive portion of infants. So if your baby is crying endlessly, please take a breath and be reassured. Statistically, this is completely normal, and it definitely doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. And then, oh boy, there's this famous phenomenon, the witching hour. This usually hits hard between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. Think about it. Throughout the entire day, your baby is taking in all these lights, sounds, and constant physical contact. By the evening, all that daily physical and mental load simply overflows, and boom, you get what seems like sudden, inconsolable crying. Moving on to Section 2, hunger or fatigue, spotting the difference. This is a classic cause and effect diagnostic approach. You'd actually be amazed by how easily parents, especially when we're running on no sleep, can confuse a really tired baby with a hungry one. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact differences we need to look for. On one hand, you've got hunger signs, right? Things like rooting around, lip smacking, or sucking on their hands. But on the other side, fatigue signs look vastly different. You'll see a glazed-over stare, tightly clenched fists, and these jerky, uncontrolled movements. If they're well-fed but kicking their legs erratically, they might just be completely exhausted. Now here's a crucial point you really need to remember. Crying is a late sign. By the time your baby is actually wailing from fatigue, you've likely already missed their early sleep window. And when that happens, they cross over into being overtired, making it incredibly difficult for them to just relax and fall asleep. That brings us to Section 3, overstimulation, recognizing the signs. We really have to shift our focus to the baby's environment for a second. Modern life is extremely loud, fast-paced, and super bright, which is just absolute sensory overload for a tiny newborn brain that's still developing. Think about it, passing the baby around at a family gathering or just keeping them in a busy, noisy living room with the TV blasting can completely overload their nervous system. When that happens, you'll see the exact signs listed here: avoiding eye contact, arching their little backs, becoming physically rigid, or suddenly bursting into hysterical crying. They're essentially screaming at you, "Hey, I need a break." Now, what is really interesting about this slide is pediatric expert Dr. Harvey Karp's concept of the fourth trimester. Dr. Karp theorizes that human babies are actually born a trimester early compared to other mammals. Because of this, they desperately miss the tight, loud, and constantly moving safety of the womb. Honestly, shifting your mindset to understand this makes their fussiness make so much more sense. So, how do we actually fix it? Let's jump into Section 4, the 5 S's method. Recreating the womb. This is Dr. Karp's highly effective step-by-step toolkit, widely recommended by sleep coaches and pediatricians alike. The fundamental question we really need to ask ourselves when we look at this method is, how do we recreate the womb? Like, how can you mimic that comforting, secure fourth trimester feeling right in your own living room to trigger your baby's natural calming reflex? Well, here is the exact formula. First up, swaddling, which perfectly mimics the tight space of the uterus. Second, the side or stomach position while you're holding them, which actually turns off their falling reflex. Third is shushing, making loud, monotonous white noise just like the whoosh of blood rushing in the womb. Fourth is swinging, using rhythmic, jiggly movements. And finally, sucking, like on a pacifier or a clean finger. You apply all of these together with some real enthusiasm, and it acts like a magical off switch for the crying. Now, knowing the theory is fantastic, but we all know that practical execution in the heat of the moment requires a very calm parental approach. Section 5. Tips for parents. Practical execution. Here is how we build this into a concrete action plan for you to use. The exact moment your baby starts crying, just run through this checklist. Step 1. Check their basic needs: hunger, diaper, temperature. Step 2. If those are totally fine, immediately move to a quiet, dark room to remove that sensory overload. Step 3. Apply those 5 S's to trigger that calming reflex. What experts also suggest is that if you're still really struggling to break a crying cycle, there are some excellent backup techniques. Skin-to-skin contact is incredibly powerful for regulating their heartbeat. You can also turn on a vacuum or an extractor fan for deep white noise, run a warm bath to relax their tense muscles, or try a gentle baby massage to lower those stress hormones.
But please, always remember this absolutely crucial rule. Babies are like little sponges. They literally feel our tension and our spiked heart rates. A calm parent equals a calm baby. It is totally okay and actually very safe to put your crying baby down in their crib, step into another room, and take a solid 5-minute break to breathe and reset yourself. You have to put your own oxygen mask on first.
I want to leave you with this really powerful, reassuring thought. This too shall pass. You are fully equipped. You have a solid framework, and you are deeply understood here. You're doing a fantastic job navigating one of the toughest parts of parenthood. So the next time the crying starts, ask yourself, are you just trying to stop the noise, or are you actively helping them navigate their